Hey, this is John. This video is about something called Crowd Cow. Crowd Cow is kind of a competitor of ButcherBox, if you're familiar with that. I'm going to split up this video in just a few sections so you can skip around if you want, but I'm going to start out with giving an intro. Second is I'm going to talk a little bit about Crowd Cow, and third, the Crowd Cow box was just delivered, so I have it on my front porch and I was going to do a video of the opening. So, first is the intro. As I said, my name is John. I did a few ButcherBox reviews. I'm not an affiliate. I don't get any compensation from ButcherBox, but I've been using the service for a few years. I had a YouTube channel and I thought it would be cool to just share my experiences with the service, with the meat, and so on. Recently, Crowd Cow reached out to me saying they saw my ButcherBox video and they were asking if I wouldn't mind trying their product. And in the end, if I liked it, would I consider being an affiliate and getting compensated if I refer any sales to them? That's just me being transparent on the situation. I agreed to do it. They did send me a sample box with a few pieces of meat and fish in there, I think, because that's what I asked for. And I'm gonna basically give a review of it. And if I like the product, I'll start ordering more of it. I'll start cooking the food. And if I like it and I feel like it makes sense to endorse it, I'll take that as a next step. But none of that's on this video. This is just purely informational only. But I wanted to give full disclosure on the background. Okay, so enough about the intro. Second is about Crowd Cow. I never heard of them when they reached out to me, but after doing some research, I seen that this is a legit company. They've been around for some time. And what are some of the differences between Crowd Cow and ButcherBox? Well, first of all, there's more transparency on the farmers because you could actually take a look and see all the farmers in the United States, for example, and even in Japan because they sell Wagyu beef, but all the farmers that exist and actually choose which farmer you want to source your beef, chicken, pork, or fish from, which I found was pretty interesting. So you actually have more transparency on the farmers and the ability to select from them. That's the first thing. The second thing is there's a more diverse set of products they offer. Definitely, ButcherBox has increased what they offer since the beginning. In the beginning, it was purely beef, pork, and chicken. And then they had things like add-ons, such as bacon and turkey and so on. But more recently, they've expanded into seafoods. But even so, I have seen that the comparison between the two seems to be pretty vast in the sense that Crowd Cow offers a much more higher selection of different things, such as dry-aged beef, Wagyu beef. From a fish perspective, they offer different types of fish, such as they offer Atlantic salmon versus just Alaskan salmon. A couple of other things like black cod they offer, ButcherBox doesn't. Whether or not this matters to people, because I know that certain types of fish is a particular type of delicacy and certain types of taste, maybe that doesn't matter to a lot of people, but that was the second thing I saw. And the third thing I saw was the fact that there's more choices in terms of the cost. There is a cost of $50 minimum in Crowd Cow, but you can do a la carte. So you can pick whatever you want as long as you hit at least $50 for the product, where ButcherBox has like a minimum box or small box of $149, and within that you can sort of select different choices of things you want. So that's a bit of background of things that I've learned after doing some research on it and I wanted to share. And I'm not a user of the product yet, but this is what I've seen, at least from my research online. Okay, so the third thing is regarding the box itself. So as I said, I did get the shipment. The shipment came while I was working, so it's been out there for about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. It's hot out. I live in New Jersey. It's probably close to 90 degrees. So I hope the things didn't spoil, but I just couldn't break away from my meetings to get it. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got. All right, so got the pups there. We're gonna make our way from the kitchen into the foyer and to the front door where we've got the box. There you go. Here's the box. See Crowd Cow. Seems to be a fairly standard box, really. Yeah, so nothing special about that. Let's see what's inside. That matters most. Okay, so I have the box here in the kitchen. I'm gonna open it. I asked for beef and seafood for my sample box, and that's all I said. So I don't know what I'm gonna get, and this is my first time checking it out and checking out the packaging and so on. So you'll sort of be seeing this live. This is the first time I do as well. So, okay, so here's what the box looked like when I opened it. I don't know if you could see it. There's some welcome notes here and some information. I presume because there's some Kobe beef in here, or Wagyu beef, so we'll see. But there's a welcome note saying, you know, thanks for the support. Okay, so they mentioned that the local provider they're offering the food from is called Bristol Seafood, which is based out of Portland, Maine. And they have recipes and an address here. But like I said, I saw online that you can select the different farmers. You can see a list of all the farmers and people who are involved in the service, and then actually choose one versus just being forced. I think ButcherBox, for example, has a lot of things sourced from New Zealand and Australia, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it is what it is, and they basically drive that for you. So that's what this one was. And it looks like here they're offering me what I hope is a sample of A5 Miyazaki beef, which I probably pronounced that wrong, but it's a Wagyu beef, which is great because it's a great beef, and it's delicious, obviously, if you cook it right. So I'm really anxious to see that, and they show you the location of where this came from in Miyazaki, Japan. So that's what the 2 pieces of paper is. Okay, so it looks like there's a thermal packaging on top here, which is like, it looks like a kind of blanket. You can see that. It's still very cold. It's I guess it means the dry ice inside still is good. So I'll actually do this so you can see it. So you see it's kind of like this blanket. If I peel that back, there looks like to be a cardboard package, which is acting as kind of a sealer. It's saying that the order is 100% carbon neutral. So it's from the product to packaging, we commit to sustainability and minimizing industry waste and greenhouse gases. And their goal is to offset the carbon footprint on each and every order. I don't think ButcherBox has something as transparent as that. All right, sorry for the cut. My dog wasn't happy about something, so I had to go help her out. All right, so next there's a layer of 2 bags of dry ice. There are 2 blocks of dry ice still in there, giving off some smoke. So hopefully that means the food is still fresh and frozen. Followed by a layer of paper. And then in there we've got layer number 1. Looks like it's a bag of sea scallops, which I love. So I hope and expect these sea scallops to be wild caught versus farm raised. But doesn't, oh, there it says, either from the Gulf of Maine or harvested from waters of places such as Peru or Japan. And they search all over the world for it. So it doesn't explicitly say, oh yes it does. Okay, it says wild caught in USA. It doesn't say where. Expiration date is March 2023. So, good start. Next we have another layer of paper, and below that layer of paper, looks like we have some beef. So, first piece of beef is completely frozen. It's natural beef. It's beef rib steak, packed, dry aged. Yeah, so dry aged was something that ButcherBox didn't have. So it's a different type of beef and different preparation. So looks really good. It's a decent sized piece of meat. It's almost a pound. I don't know if you can see that. Here we go. Next is the Wagyu beef. I don't have it open here, but it's saying it's from Kagoshima, Japan. And if I go back to that other paper, oh no, okay. There are all these different locations and the different kinds of Wagyu beef. I don't know much about this, but I'll do some research, but it's definitely a quality piece of meat, and I'll probably do a video of me cooking it and eating it because this isn't cheap. I would guess this is probably in the range, this piece alone, of $30 to $50. It's just a guess. It's a decent size. It doesn't have a weight here, but maybe I'll open it up. Let's see. Here we go. So it's all right. So this says it's an A5. It's a Japanese meat graded term, and it's 1.05 pounds. Miyazaki A5 Wagyu ground. Okay, it's a ground, so it's not a piece of steak, which is fine, but still very good, and anxious to try that. So we've got the Wagyu beef, ground beef. We've got the dry aged beef, and then if I go more, there's one more layer. Here we go. So last layer is 2 pieces of Atlantic salmon. Says product of Norway, and each piece is a net weight of 12 ounces. So this is farmed responsibly. So this isn't wild caught. It's farm raised, which I don't like. I normally would prefer wild caught, but it is what it is. So there you have it. As I said in the beginning, I had asked for a sample. I was offered a sample box. I didn't have to pay for this. They asked me what kind of food I like. I said I like beef and seafood. So to recap, I got 2 12-ounce pieces of farm-raised Atlantic salmon, a 1.05 pound of Wagyu ground beef, a 1 pound piece of dry-aged beef, and a bag of scallops, which has about 16 ounces worth. So really anxious to give this a shot. What I'm going to do now is try out this food, and if I like the food, I'll probably do another video of my experience and then the food I made, and if I feel like it makes sense to endorse, then that's where I'll be looking to do so. But thanks guys so much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time.